Welcome back, Canisius High School community. It is Andy Deyell, Vice President for Institutional Advancement, back with another episode of Conversations with Canisius, our web series where we check in with alum all over the country and today the world and find out what we've been up to since our time at 1180 Delaware. I am joined today by Dr. John Sutter, class of 1988. Dr. Sutter is a physicist and research scientist at Diamond Light Source Limited, which is the national synchrotron in England. Is that correct, John? Did I get that right?
Yes, that's correct. And it's close to the famous university town of Oxford.
Wow. And so, John, first and foremost, we just had this little conversation offline before we started this interview. I had no idea what a synchrotron was before I started talking to you. Can you tell us a little bit about what it is and what you do there? And I know it's very impressive but something I'd never heard of before.
Well, actually, there are quite a few of them around the world, but a synchrotron essentially is a particle accelerator that takes subatomic particles and brings them up close to light speed. Many of you will probably have heard of CERN, for instance. The Diamond Light Source is built on the same principle, but on a smaller scale. And Diamond Light Source accelerates electrons close to light speed. But we're not doing that just for the sake of making electrons go fast. When we pass these pulses of electrons through magnetic fields, they produce X-ray beams, and the ones we use at Diamond Light Source that we generate from these electrons are 10 billion times brighter than the sun, yet at the same time concentrated in a very small size. So perhaps the best way to think of what our synchrotron does is to see it as a huge microscope. We have users who come to us with their samples, and they come from universities, other research labs, or industrial companies within the United Kingdom and from abroad too. And they have many different kinds of samples. Over the years that I have worked at Diamond, my colleagues have looked at proteins and viruses, historical artifacts, fossils, jet engines, moon rocks, and many more. Now, I'm not saying that I myself have worked on all of this, but my job has been to visit the various experimental facilities where people do them and help the people who run them to get the very best possible performance. And I should mention that Diamond Light Source is funded by the government of the United Kingdom, but the United States has similar facilities in New York, Chicago, and Berkeley that are funded by the US government.
Wow. And how long have you been in England, John?
I have been in England since June 2006, and the time has really flown by. My 4 years in Canisius High School were longer than these last 14 years I have spent here.
Well, that's a great segue. Take us a little bit, you're going to catch us up now from your time at Canisius. You graduated in 1988. Take us a little bit through your college and graduate school journeys and how you ended up in England in 2021.
Oh, that's a long and complicated story, and I could keep you up all day talking about it. But to give you a short version, after I graduated from Canisius, I got my Bachelor of Science in Physics from the State University of New York at Buffalo. Then, to get my PhD, I moved out to the Indiana cornfields, namely Purdue University. But the work I did was actually at Argonne National Laboratory, which is a US Department of Energy research facility near Chicago. That actually is one of America's synchrotrons, the Advanced Photon Source. And I've been working at synchrotrons ever since my graduation, ever since I got my PhD. After leaving Argonne, I spent 3 years working in Hamburg, Germany, and another 3 years working in Western Japan before at last I settled here close to Oxford in 2006. I've traveled to China, Taiwan, South Africa, Jordan, Europe, and of course, back to the USA for both conferences and vacations.
Wow. And when you think of your time back at Canisius High School, what sticks out? Like what prepared you to do what you're doing today when you were in the hallways at 1180 Delaware?
The courses I took at Canisius gave me an excellent grounding in math, science, history, and writing that have been helping me ever since, not only in my career, but in my personal life and my dealings with many kinds of people. Also, from my sophomore year at Canisius until I graduated, I sang in the choir. And I still sing at Mass in my local church and in amateur choirs here in England to this day. Now, of course, singing in choir is a pleasure for me, and it's helped me make a lot of friends in the local area, but it also gives me an opportunity to serve the community I now live in.
Right. And that sounds so. That's another great segue. You're really setting me up nicely here. As we both know, Canisius High School is not just about academics and academic preparation. It's about Ignatian formation, and it's about the Ignatian way. Tell me a little bit about how that Ignatian spirituality is present in your life today.
Well, I learned that our faith doesn't exclude an open mind to the facts and evidence we gain by observing the world around us. And this was something I didn't appreciate as much as I should have at the time I was at Canisius, but only long after my graduation did I understand how important and how unusual this is. I learned to be willing to serve my neighbors, whoever they were in whatever land I was living. Finally, and I think most importantly, I learned that we have to resist sloth, put aside pride, and sometimes we have to give up our own ease and comfort if we want to rise to our best.
That's great. That's great. So ideally, a lot of our young alums will be seeing this. A lot of our current students would be seeing this. What advice would you give to young people today as they're preparing to make their way in the world, finishing their high school career, finishing their college career, and choosing their path?
Listen to the concerns of those around you. Seek to serve them according to your abilities. And finally, remember these words that I think are from Richard Bach. In order to live free and happily, you must sacrifice boredom. It is not always an easy sacrifice.
And as you look forward to the year 2021, what is in store for Dr. John Sutter personally, and what are you working on in your research facility that's exciting as you look towards the future?
Well, the current coronavirus pandemic has restricted our freedom to travel, but nonetheless, my workload has not dropped one bit. We continue to plan a future upgrade of our research facility even while we're working from home. And despite the lockdown that we have here in the UK at the moment, I'm still occasionally called into work to run inspections of new components on our site, and those will help us continue improving our ability to make new discoveries.
Wow. Well, John, this has been enlightening and exciting. Thank you very much for giving us a few brief moments today of your time. I know you're very, very busy. We look forward to staying in touch, and please keep us updated as things go well in England for you. It was very nice to visit with you today, and I wish you the best. We'll see you very soon, John.
You're very welcome.
See you.